Hey there, Bernadette McClelland from Three Red Folders, and welcome to this week's Friday wrap up. It's been a pretty big week this week. We've had Halloween, which prompted the post on the 3 fears that sales managers face. We've had Melbourne Cup here in Melbourne. We've had Diwali for our Indian friends. I've been to the hairdressers, and more importantly, we have found little Chloe in West Australia. So it's been a pretty big week. So let's get down to business and let's discuss the 3 biggest fears that I've seen, and judging from some of the responses to the post, you've seen that sales managers face in their role today. It's interesting. Sales managers typically are salespeople who have risen up through the ranks. And as a result of that, they will bring with them their, baggage. They'll bring with them all the things that do work and the things that don't work. And underlying all of this are 3 fears. And they're fears most of us have. But when it is impacting the business growth, then it is something that needs to be addressed. So I want to run through those 3 fears with you. First and foremost is the fear of making a decision. Yes, decidophobia is a real thing. When you break down what the word decide actually means, it means to kill off. So it means to cut off or to kill off. And basically what that's saying is it's time to cut off or kill off everything around that decision factor. And so this can be a very difficult thing for a lot of people, mainly because the fear that's driving them there is, what if I get it wrong? You know, what if I make such a huge mistake that it's going to impact somebody else, or it's going to impact the business? Could I lose my job? All of these underlying fears are around decision making. And we, as salespeople, you will also find it out there in the marketplace too. Your buyers aren't making a decision. So this has nothing to do with you. It is simply what's one of their triggers, what is driving them not to make a decision. And of course, it's the status quo bias in a lot of instances. So understanding all of this from a psychology perspective will help you to have those better conversations. So coming back to decision making. One of our decision-making mechanisms, if you like, as human beings, is our gut, is intuition. And there are times when you will be in conflict with what you think you should do from the head and what you think that, you should do from your gut. Start to listen to your gut, start to listen to your intuition, and be brave and courageous enough to actually make the call. As I mentioned in the post, millions and millions of dollars are being spent on research around intuition because it is now being viewed as a very serious contender from a business toolkit perspective. So that's number 1, fear of making decisions. Number 2 is fear of having the difficult conversations. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sure we've all seen instances in our environments, our business environments, where the tail is wagging the dog, where a manager just doesn't have what it takes to call somebody out, on their BS. They don't have what it takes to remove the toxic person from the team, even though that person, might be the biggest revenue generator. So how do you have those tough conversations, and why can't you? And so, this all boils down to our human need to feel enough. And this whole inability, because it is an inability to hold your team accountable to something. And this is just one of the biggest sabotaging factors of a sales team or a sales function of a business, is the manager not being able to have those tough conversations and to hold their people accountable. Now, once again, that comes back to a need to feel enough, a need to be liked. And so we can't afford to do that in business today. You can't getting likes on LinkedIn is totally different to having this need to be liked as a leader. And so my suggestion there is to swap the word liked for respect. And that will create a physiological shift in the way that you show up when you swap those two words out. So that's the fear of having the tough conversations. And then the third fear is the fear of asking for help. And I mean, this has been one of my weaknesses for years, is, thinking that I can do it on my own, when no man, no woman is an island. We are a village. It's how we operate as human beings in communities. And if somebody asks you for their help, what do? You help them, because it's just in us to help somebody else. And so, don't let your ego get in the way there. Don't let that fear stop you from reaching out, asking for advice, asking for feedback. And just realize that, people will find the time to help you. But my point there is to go to that conversation with a definite outcome, to respect that person's time and to respect their intelligence and their tendency, their propensity to want to help you. So look, they are the three fears that I see out there in the marketplace. I am going to suggest that if you are a manager and you want to, elevate your position to be one of more of a leader, then I'm going to suggest that you reach out to me. If you are a sales manager, if you're an aspiring sales leader, you might be a salesperson who wants to move into a sales leadership role at some stage. If you're a business owner and you perhaps don't have a sales team per se, but you want to be able to amplify your sales prowess, and you want a copy of my guide, Transformational Sales Leadership, turning salespeople into sales leaders, because that's what our buyers want today. It's more than just, being a salesperson, it's being a sales leader. Then I'm going to suggest that you write guide in the comments below, and I will send you a copy of that guide. So look, have an amazing weekend. I'm off to babysit my brand new granddaughter for the first time ever tonight. So I'm wishing you guys have a safe and sane weekend, and we'll see you this time next week. Bye for now.